the most gratifying things I've heard was from a daughter of a older resident that I helped place in a assisted living community. And after him being there for a couple of months, she said to me, "I finally have my dad back."
Oh,
Just because he was more social and outgoing and the
yeah.
depression improved. And it was all because of he had increased socialization. So just kind of around loneliness and social isolation, it is true that as we age, it becomes harder to adapt and to make changes. And as a consequence, then it makes it harder to try new things. So sometimes that's what we see with that social isolation is it, even though it's not the best thing for the older resident, it just becomes um, a little bit more comfortable to be isolated rather than having to potentially confront maybe some of the anxiety of trying something new. And then what that then can cause that depression or that loneliness and isolation can cause depression. And when we're depressed, our brains seek congruency, and they try to align with our emotional and mood state. And so when you're depressed, everything kind of becomes glass half empty. And so when someone even says, "Oh, let's go try, this new activity at the community center," if you're depressed, it's going to be hard to develop the motivation for that. And you're just more likely just, "No, I don't want to do that. Let's poo-poo that." And so what then happens is you be getting this kind of negative feedback loop where the depressed behavior begets more depressed behavior. Um, and then one thing that I try to work with patients on is that even though they may not feel like doing it, if they can just kind of act their way into a new way of thinking, meaning actual action, getting there doing it, even though they are telling themselves that they don't want to do it, that actually engages those feel-good neurotransmitters in the brain and will actually change the way that that person thinks about the activity and change their overall mood outlook. And so if you act your way into a new way of thinking and behaving, even though you may not feel like it at the outset, that actually is a form of treatment. And any activity that engages the brain and fosters social connection is a win.